Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for coming today. And uh, well, it's in the same way as I asked myself why was it that I was coming here today. But when I put it out, I was just sharing with the world what was happening to me because I did not want gossip around it. I did not want it to be misconstrued. I did not want my son to hear it in a wrong way. But what started as just sharing my story kind of became a dialogue. It became a dialogue in the sense the response I got when I shared my story was so amazing, and it just made me realize that there were people from all stratas of the society writing in, from north, south, east, west, from all over the country, all over the world, in fact, writing in and sharing their stories. It was like an outpouring which shocked me. And I just realized that, oh my God, there's so much of it out there. And first of all, it made me feel that I was not alone. And the next time, it was more like saying thank you for sharing so many stories with me, because it made me realize that I was not alone. There was nothing so very special about me. It's pretty regular. It happens to a lot of people. It's just not spoken about. So the next post was just to thank people, thanking them for sharing their story with me. And then the dialogue just kind of organically continued.
Okay. Sonali, one thing that you did very differently was you created this thing with the today's world, where you created these hashtags, which was one day at a time, bring on the sunshine. Yeah. Was it more to do with affirmations that you believed with, or was it more to tell yourself or tell the people? And why that hashtag, and what does those hashtag mean to you?
Well, now when I look at it, because frankly, I walked into cancer, so to say, completely oblivious to something that really happens in the world, something that a lot of people go through, and quite frankly, touch wood, my life has been so healthy. I eat healthy, I barely have any vices, so it's not something that I expected. I didn't expect a disease. So it was such a shock, and it came out of it just blindsided me completely. That till now, when I look back, I understand that these are affirmations, as you say. Right. But at that point of time, I had never really used those, and I didn't really know that this is what happens and this is how it is and everything. But it was more like one day at a time was something that Goldie kept telling me, because we were so overwhelmed and we didn't know what was happening, and we were kind of grappling with the whole situation. And it was like, what are we going to do? And he said, you know what, Sonali, let's just deal with today. Yeah. Let's just deal with today, and we'll figure out tomorrow. Let's just deal today. And so it was like one day at a time, one day at a time. He would keep telling me that, and so it became one day at a time. And I love monochromes and grays and whites and blacks. And it was all this grayness around me, which I normally love. And I said, you know what, it's now time to switch on the sunshine. I want brightness, I want life around me. And that's where it came, switch on the sunshine. And I said, you know what another better way to kind of say it than in today's world, because that's how, my son now talks, how the kids talk, anything, hashtag so-and-so, yes, LOL and stuff like that. So I just said that, this is like, switch on the sunshine, switch on the sunshine. I said, if Ranveer was here, he would say hashtag switch on the sunshine. And that's where it came from. And I said, why not? Let me just use it. And let me just use it really every day. So it was like a mantra to me, and I kept saying that. Now what I realize is affirmation, and it kind of worked for me. Yeah. At that point, it was just an instinct, and instinctively is what I was doing it. But I'm glad I did it.
Perfect. One more question I have. I'm a mother of an 8-year-old. You're a mother of a 13-year-old.
Yeah.
Was it difficult for you to decide whether to share this with him or not to share him, protect him? And I believe you went one step further, and you actually even took him for those therapy sessions. Yes. Where as mothers, our instinct is to protect and not share so much of detail. Yeah. Why did you do that, and do you really think that's
Again, it was an instinct to have him with me. And at that point of time, I know my parents, my mother-in-law, I live with my mother-in-law and my sister-in-law, we live in a joint family. So I knew there was more than enough support and more than enough love for him. And he would be pampered and he would be very well taken care of. There was no doubt in my mind about that. But I needed to see his body language, because children can internalize things. And it's great if they understand it and they move on from it. But if there's anything that he's not holding on, then Goldie and me wanted him to be in front of us. And somewhere he's part of the family. And I just felt that these are the things that as a family we need to deal with it. And well, at that point of time, somewhere for me it was what, even if I don't, if this was going to be the last, then I really needed him with me. It was literally like, you know, in this last month or 2 months, whatever it is that I have, what is it that I want to teach him? Then there were certain lessons that I needed to share with him, and I needed him with me for that. Okay. So yeah.
Okay.
It's a bit.
One question before I open it up here. Your first advertisement was Parachute Hair Oil.
Yeah.
You have been known for those beautiful dresses, and trust me, this looks even better. So now with this new thing, you took this industry which is so obsessed with beauty, so obsessed with that perfect thing, to this new thing. Is it difficult? You even did that amazing photo shoot with Vogue India recently, where you've shown off your scar. Some pointers for people like that, so we are not obsessed with ourselves.
It's hard.
It's hard.
It is, yeah. And I think it is for everybody, because, you know, we are brought up. I mean, my mother would kind of whack me if I stood in front of a mirror for too long. That's the way she brought us up. We have 3 daughters. And that's her way of not really letting it get to the head, so to say, as they say. But the fact remains that how much ever we might say, and we are taught with it, that inner beauty is important, and which is true, it is. That's what shines through eventually. But the fact remains that it takes a while to figure the inner beauty out. And what you see first is the outer beauty, and that's what it is. Plus, like you said, that's my profession. That's what has given me my bread, butter, jam, you know, and a few more perks on top of that has been this. This has been the livelihood. And so it was scary. But also the point was that either I could be scared and sit at home and not face the world, or it was like, when you get scared, just step out and do exactly what you're scared of. Because the moment I did that, it was out there. What else is there to be scared of? Okay, I don't want to show my head, but it's out there. So, you know, it was every time, it was more like everything that scared me, I kind of put it out there. So you're scared of what? What is it that you fear? I mean, forget other than the fact that, you know, you want to live and you don't want to die. You fear the fact that what will people say, how will it look? So here it is. Say whatever it is that you have to say, and you just kind of cross that. There's so much to deal with. I didn't want to add one more thing to deal with, that, you know, how am I looking, what is happening. And quite frankly, we underestimate, in all the teachings of inner beauty, we underestimate the I'm sorry to say it, but we underestimate the magic of makeup. A bit of lipstick and kajal goes a great way in giving you self-confidence.
Definitely. Before I open the session, one point for your sister. Like we said, this whole thing is about women power, and that. She's been your rock.
Yeah.
She's been through this whole thing. She's here today. Yeah. Thank you so much for coming in today. What is it that you say? So women support women, and that is women power, right?
So in my journey, there have been both my sisters, because my elder sister is here with me. My younger one has twins, and so is not. She's been a part of this journey, and my sisters-in-law, they have been like rocks for me also, because they have held the fort back here, and they have traveled up and down. She's been the constant, but they have all been there completely for me, and my biggest pillar of strength has been my husband.
Absolutely.
So this has been my support system, my friends, my sisters, and which includes my sisters-in-law, all of them. But what you said is a very, very important thing, that, you know, there are certain things that women understand.
Absolutely.
And there are a lot of times that you realize that it's women who, there are a lot of times who don't want to be the ones who are supporting and helping. But if we could just do that, because there are certain things that only women can understand, you know, that how much ever sympathetic and empathy a man might have, there's certain things that can be shared with women. And so if women can come together and be like, you know, be a support system for each other, I think we can do wonders.
Wonders to that whole thing. One thing that you look forward in 2019?
I hope I can hear the word remission. I just hope for that.
Definitely. We hope for that too. We'll open up, we'll take about 5 questions.
Yeah.
Are you planning to write
No, I'm not. I think there has been enough stories that have been told with where this is concerned. I think Manisha has written a really lovely book also. Well, I don't know if I want to relive it in that much detail. It's kind of difficult to do that. Also, I realize writing is a very lonely job. You sit in a corner and you're writing, and at this point of time, I don't want to be alone. I just want people around me. I don't want to sit down and get into that world. I just want to be around life. So not just now, definitely.
We know you as you're a superstar looking as gorgeous.
Oh, thank you.
More happy and more gorgeous now. So,
Thank
is there
you.
any plans to go back to cinema if something comes up with you?
You know, honestly, one thing that I have realized is that the best thing to do is to not plan.
Okay.
And really to take each day as it comes. So I don't know, if I like something, I will. I really don't know what I will do, but I just know that I want to keep doing something all the time. And that was one more reason why I came here today also. I just want to do things, because you know what happens is, when you're coming here, you're planning for coming here. When you go back, oh, I'm so tired, these aches and pains, you're taking care of the aches and pains. You know, 3 days in a week are over already. So it just takes you through that week, and the next week has come. So I just find that when you're doing something, then you're not wallowing in self-pity, your mind is in a good space, and you have to just keep it occupied in a positive way. I mean, you can occupy it in a negative way, but this is, I think, is a positive way to occupy yourself, so yeah. Sorry. Sorry?
Beyond the fight with songs and everything, the most inspirational part to us, a lot of people, is that you've created a hope for yourself during the entire process. And which is what leads to all those fighting over everything. Could you just please talk a little bit of how you created a hope for yourself that really allowed everyone just getting your mind?
No, but there are definitely days when they are very difficult, and I think that's when I pointed this today out, is because I mean, you know, last weekend to coming this, it was a bit of a low, and I was like, you know, because the recovery from it and the process and actually the treatment of this disease is very painful, and it's just so long, and it just goes on, and there are days when you feel low about it and you are feeling tired of it and everything. But that's why I say that you have to just occupy yourself with things that are interesting and which can add to whatever it is that you're doing. And anything that does not interest me, or I feel like, you know what, I don't want to deal with, I don't do it now. So earlier, as women, you're always told to be tolerant, to take things. I've just now, when I can't, I can't. Even there are times when I probably have never said no so many times to my own mother. You know, it's very difficult to say no to her, but I've come to a point where I'm actually saying that, you know what, I can't do it now, I need some space. And in my life, I have never said that, or I've asked for the space, but now I do it. So it's not about some big thing like a hope, it's just about being able to do the small things and getting on with it.
Have you created something new hobby? I mean, earlier so many hobbies would be there, but after that you're going through the treatment, or something new you have discovered or doing?
No, I still read. It's just the kind of reading probably I can't handle, very little emotionally fragile in that sense, but yeah.
You were posting a picture saying that you're reading Forest of Enchantment.
Yes.
So apart, why that particular book?
Forest of Enchantments, we are done with, we started with another book now. Forest of Enchantments, because one, I like the author, you know, Deva Karuni has always been a very good author. I like the way she writes, and it's story of Sita, and again I feel it's a story of valor, it's a story of, in a certain way, you know, it's a story of a woman and the strength of women and what happens. It's a different way that she has told that story, and I like the way that story has been told. I like to imagine, or the fact that, you know, she was a warrior, she was a strong woman, which we all know to a certain degree, but how is strength? It differs, and so that was the interesting part. Also, the other thing I always, when I read it, and what I take away yet again, is the fact that the question that I asked myself is that do we as women tolerate a bit too much before we speak up? Is a question that I was left with in that after reading it.
Books, were there any other things that helped you?
Yes, I watched only comedy. That, of course, mind-numbingly frivolous reality shows took me through a lot of this journey. Believe me, I laughed through it, looked aghast at how can this be happening, but it happens in the world, and it just took me through it. So yes, there is one point to these absolutely, completely mind-numbing reality shows also. But beyond that, there was also, I've always enjoyed watching various documentaries and stuff like that, and there are a lot of topics that have been interesting to me, and I did read up and and I saw a lot of stuff on it, because there's a lot of research on medicine, where on the brain, on how our body is working. There's a lot of new research that's happening out there, and I did find that very interesting and helpful for me to kind of associate.
In one of your interviews, you mentioned that you were given an opportunity to maintain your hair and make a good aspect, and you spoke about how you didn't want to keep it anymore. You said let it go.
Yeah.
And how difficult was that situation for you? Because you also spoke about how hair was the reason that you got most of your advertisements that you've done. You probably promoted all of the hair products that we see today. So how difficult was it for you to be able to say, what, let it go?
No, actually it was quite easy to let it go, because frankly at that point of time, when you're thinking you don't know if you're going to live or not, it was like the smallest of things. Suddenly hair came into perspective for me, and I said it is just hair. Because when you compare hair and life, I mean obviously the perspective is very clear. So when you're in that situation, it just gives you a new perspective.
That's it. We'll shut this here.
Sorry?
After coming back from the unbeatable spirit that we see today, can I expect something like maybe Madhuri doing a talent song?
Listen, you know what? I'm the biggest fan of Madhuri ma'am, and I love her. And I cannot and ever will be like her. There is only one Madhuri Dixit, and there cannot be another one. I'm one of her biggest fans. So I don't think that is me. What would come to me would be very different, because that's not my genre or my, what would you call it? I don't know how to say it, but that's not me. And so I'm sure something else will come. But I don't know if it comes, does that mean I will do it? Like I said, it depends. It's one day at a time. If it interests me, yes. If it doesn't, then no. It's not a big deal.
What are your expectations from the directors who offer you whatever?
I have no expectations,
We'll
period.
shut this here. We're getting late for the
That's the
program.
best.
Thank you so much, everybody.
Thank